Yo, 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 good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Thursday stream after the Fed, 7:01 in the morning Eastern Time. Yesterday was Fed. Today is unemployment claims, ECB rate hikes in about an hour and 14 minutes. Yen bank holiday today. ECB press conference, so if you're trading the euro, it's going to be an interesting morning. But other than that, pretty chill day after Fed. We'll see if we get any good price action today, because yesterday was a doozy. And you also have this bank, another bank, or potentially another bank failure. Fourth bank drops 60% overnight. About 60% from peak to trough overnight on a potential another failure, and that's why the markets were not trading during this hour here from the PAC-W headlines, and gold had that spike. Oil, I'm pretty sure this was like an oil fund blowing up or something, because this is not caused by the bank failure. This drop here is like a flash crash overnight, so this was pretty interesting. Had that nasty drop from 68 to 63. Daily charts looking like a hell of a, just look at that. But anyways, let's get this party started from our favorite buddy, the dollar, which is still stuck in this range. It's still stuck in this range. Fed did not do a very good job of breaking it out. Had a nice dip yesterday to the lows here, but we're finding support again. So until it breaks out of this range, I'm not paying attention to it. So moving on from the dollar. Not done a very good job of being a sponsor of Jocko Go. Having Sour Apple Sniper today. This is probably one of my favorite ones. It's really, really good. Cheers. But anyways, oh, that's good. Goes right through the veins, just right through the body. Just, yeah. Equities had a nice drop yesterday. It was very, very choppy, holding up during the day with Fed. If you look at the price action in the middle of the day, not middle of the day, but the middle of the Fed meeting, it was very just up and down, choppy. And then after the speech was over, just started filtering down, and then PAC-W headlines gapped it down even farther. So US30 looking pretty weak, but however, US30 sitting at the just last line of defense. This is really where it needs to hold if it's going to hold up. This 33,266 area, more or less where it's sitting. You had this resistance support. All of this resistance here, this support, all of this support in here, support from a couple weeks ago, and now today. So if it gives up this area here, we have very clean. Whoops, let me put that forward. We have very clean traffic looking left back down towards this 32,568 area. So looking at the hourly chart, creating these descending highs. Had this nice exhaustion wick through lows overnight. Rally off that, now retesting that break of lows. The open sitting right around here. Check this level again. This level's looking pretty solid. We'll leave it there. So, I'm not going to trade it now, obviously, but we have some price action to potentially fill above this resistance here of 33,450. That's where our resistance is sitting. Support, I wouldn't even consider sells unless we broke through these lows here at 33,200. So we have a very big range. We'll just have to see where we're at heading toward closer to 9 o'clock, because You don't know what the market's going to do the day after the Fed, especially this early. So I'm just going to wait and see, you know, are we near any of these highs or lows? Are we near the open? Are we, you know, above VWAP? It's just a lot of things that could be in play close to NYSE. So I'm going to wait. If I had a feeling towards something, I really would anticipate us continuing sells. We came up, retested overnight, this low here, this drop from Pack W here, and now we're filtering the downside through the open, through the lows. So I feel like we're going to have a nice sell-off day today in equities, but I'm going to wait for a confirmation as we get closer to NYSE. US 500 daily chart sitting at its last line of defense here. This 40-60. Yesterday closed bearish with a nice rejection wick. Look down time frames at the hourly chart. Looking very similar to the Dow with these descending highs. Came back to retest these lows. And the Pack W drop. Range isn't as clean on the S&P because our lows are down here versus the Dows we're sorting here, but you know, so the lows are a little off. So I'm going to be playing the Dow over the S&P today. This makes more sense for sells below these lows or buys above this resistance here. Clean traffic. S&P buys would be okay as well. I'd be okay with the buys, just not the sells. NASDAQ, tech. After breaking through this resistance here, we're now back below. So looking for some bearish price action. We're not really at the last line of defense for tech. Tech's just actually pretty strong, which is interesting. How strong tech is compared to the rest of the market. Still creating this bullish structure here. Take a look at lower time frames. Hourly chart. Whoops. In this descending channel here. Came back to retest the lows of, I guess, the open of yesterday. It's resistance filtering the downside. Lows sitting area of support here. Then pretty clean traffic to the downside. But it's also a very clean range. So tech, I wouldn't mind trading in this range here. It's very clean, it's very big. So if it remains a clean range, I'll trade tech inside this range. Dow and S&P are clean as well, but tech moves a little better. So I'm going to trade tech in the range and Dow and S&P on any potential breakouts. Tech also has this channel going on here. So if we come back down to retest this range, then you can do something like that. We'll see what we get when we get closer. Gold. On this bullish breakout here. Prior highs, we're running through prior highs. Two-hour chart, flew the 2-hour chart. Ever since this breakout, the beginning of this breakout, we're now hitting the 38.2% retracement of this entire move here. So looking for potential support to be found. 2-hour chart has a nice bullish engulfing at that retracement level. Also a decent area of support and resistance here. with prior price action back in April. Buys look decent. I would just be wary of this 2050 area of resistance in April. Also an area of resistance back in prior all-time highs. So definitely an area I'd watch. It's a little early for me to want to trade, so I'm not in any positions. But if I can get like a close above 2050, then maybe I'll look for some kind of support to be formed, and then we'll look for a rally that way. A little early for me to want to trade gold, especially with this resistance sitting just north of price action. As far as sells go, I mean, we're so bullish. I don't know if I'd want to sell, but if you look at these lows, we're actually riding the 50 really well here. It's been a nice, solid area of support. So if we draw up that trend line, I'd consider sells if we broke through 2033, these lows, because then maybe we can then get a shift in market characteristics now that we're actually breaking and closing below this area, this trend line, this EMA, get a retest for maybe a pushback down towards this area of consolidation. So sells would be below 2033, buys would be above 2050. That's how I'm going to play it. Oil had a nice, I talked about it already, had that nice flash crash overnight from, there's no news, so I'm just assuming it was a nice big fun blow up, but maybe not. I don't know what else it would be. Anyways, looking at the daily chart, nice fat rejection at 66.50. Prior area of support, area of resistance back in 2019, 2014, 2021, etc. So this is a very strong area of support. So nice dip buy position or area of interest here. 4-hour chart left a nice rejection wick, closed bullish. Seeming like we're rolling over a little bit now, maybe to give us another retest before we find some more buying out of here. If we find more buying out of here, this is definitely an area right here expected to find support. We're sitting on top of VWAP, sitting on top of where the flash crash had started, where the open of the day started as well. So we found that move to downside, broke up, support, and then maybe a continuation here. So oil looks decent for longs if it can hold. I'd like to see a little bit lower of price action though. I wanted to see a retest right around like 68.20, and then maybe I'll buy it on like a close above like VWAP here, and then we'll look for that continuation. I definitely want to see support being found because it was obviously extremely weak the last few days. Sells, I may consider sells if we break back below 68.20, because then we have just clean range back down to 66.47. So this is the 66 or 68.20 is going to be more or less the area that I'm going to play off of. Look at a pound yen. Daily chart found some resistance at 172. Coming back down to retest this breakout here. We're finding some support at this prior area of resistance here at 169 even. Going down to the 1-hour chart. Sitting right at the 50% retracement from this entire run here. So an area I'd like to find some dip buys at. We'll put out 169 quarter point sitting right on top. This is definitely an area I'd be interested in buying pound yen, but where we have a lid on top of the 50 EMA here, there's an absolute lid. We're also finding some potential resistance here. So I wouldn't just buy here blindly, but if we can like get above price action, find support and rally, then you could maybe look for longs back up towards like 170, 170 even, this area right here. But I'm not going to trade it in this this choppy range. There's really no edge in there. That'd be me trying to force a trade and trying to anticipate a breakout when we could easily go lower as well. Sells, if I were to play sells, I would consider sells, but probably not till we get below 168.750. Once we get below there, we're below this support is a quarter point, and we have very clean price action back down to 168 even. So sells will be below 168.750, buys above 169 365-ish area right here. 394. So got some decent setups today. We'll just have to see what we get and if we get any price action after Fed. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, and we'll see what we get. Today's Thursday, so I will not be on YouTube tomorrow. I will be on with my Zoom group because it is going to be non-farm, so I'm going to trade live with them, but I won't be on YouTube. So have a great rest of your weekends to my lovely people out there on YouTube across the world. Have a great weekend. Safe trading out there, and I will see you Monday.